Hey guys, that's right. D here is back with a brand new episode of Table Cheese with Anton Sixxx and myself. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow. And guess what? Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Table Cheese. I'm your host for the evening, Anton Sixxx, and joining me as always, we have D of FTO Nerd Talk.
What's up, guys? I just heard about ray tracing. This is
blew your mind. That's my favorite thing to do is to show people who don't know what ray tracing is, ray tracing.
Bro, you just messed with my head with this, dude. This is wow.
And I remember the first series of graphics cards to get ray tracing was the RTX 20 series graphics cards, and we're on the 40 series now. So ray tracing has come a long way, and that was, I remember when the 20 series was being announced, looking at the NVIDIA presentation about it and seeing that I was like, this is what's going to be the big thing in the upcoming consoles. And PS5 and Xbox Series X both support hardware accelerated ray tracing. So there's software ray tracing, which is like, it's like levels to it. So it's like software ray tracing, hardware ray tracing, and then like hardware path tracing, which like kicks it up to an entirely different level.
I'm invested. Like tell the folks why we're even talking about ray tracing right now, because this is, I'm still processing this.
Yeah, so looking at it right now, the reason we're talking about this is because Elden Ring patch 1.09 is live. The highlights are ray tracing support coming to the PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC versions of the game. The one downside of ray tracing is it's incredibly hardware intensive. So I haven't gotten to test it out yet, but I know Akuma Santi, who edits the audio version of the Cheesy Controller podcast right now, he was playing, and he plays consistently, and he tried out ray tracing, and it tanked his frame rate. It's like an unstable 30, and like we played Elden Ring in most games, and that's kind of Insomniac's secret sauce, because they have performance plus ray tracing. So performance mode is like my default go-to mode. Like they'll give you quality mode, which gives you 4K. It gives you like the densest foliage, like, and this is across like every game. I always go for performance because a lock 60 is going to be a way better experience for me than a 4K image at 30 frames per second, you know?
For those of you who may not understand what he just said, I just saw this for the first time, and like from what I can like surmise and put into words for you what ray tracing looks like, it gives detail, like detail. Like it shows you reflections on screens. It shows you like mirror images like that that are realistic. It shows you movement of cars and like, you know, fabrics that I didn't think was possible in a damn video game.
Well, so that's part of the reason ray tracing is so intensive. So the like main aspect of ray tracing is how lighting works and how reflections work. Those are like the two kind of big things. And so the reason the reflection part of it is so intensive is because they have to render the game world twice, essentially, like from your like actual perspective and
the mirror image,
as detailed as possible. So
that's wild. Like if you guys haven't seen this, you know what, you sent me a link for the Spider-Man ray tracing from I'm not sure what this company is here.
Ray Tracing Revolution,
like from this company, and they show you like the Spider-Man remastered. I'll post this in the show notes so you guys can check this out. This is wild. Like this is absolutely wild. This is you blew my mind with this, man. Like seriously, like, that's rare to do with me of late. Because good God, I didn't know like that was possible in gaming. That's and like this is gonna be
And
on the Elden Rings.
right, Elden Ring's getting well has support for it now. I still haven't gotten a chance to test it out. There's just so much to play right now.
As massive and as like immersive as that game is, like to add this to it, that's gonna, dude.
Well, the thing is, that game ran at a higher quality than I ever was able to run at a higher quality than I ever saw it run
Right?
because like I said, I always go performance. Like I'll test out ray tracing, and the only company that does ray tracing performance is called Performance Plus RT for ray tracing is
Okay.
Insomniac. They do it in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered on PS5 and PC. So those, well, Ratchet's only on PlayStation. But as far as the two Spider-Man games on PC, they give you an option to have the game run at a higher frame rate, but also support ray tracing. But you're in that case, so it's like a triangle. You
Okay.
can, and you can go as far as you want in any direction, and so it's the top of the triangle. Let's say is raw resolution, so 4K, 1440p, like having a crisp, sharp, consistent high quality image.
That's the standard. All right.
So that's like the top. That's what most people prefer. And I mean, as
Gotcha.
somebody who games on a 4K monitor, last generation I favored that more, but just I've come to see the light on the fact that
Like,
frame rate is at the end of the day the most important thing when it comes to having like quality gameplay. So
would you like set yourself up like to play games like this in the future? Like you said, like your hardware yourself doesn't really do a good job of keeping up with it. Like you gonna make yourself something to keep you up with this kind
well,
of
I mean my
quality?
PS5 does it. So
Okay. Well, there you go.
that's the thing. My PS5 is more powerful like on a spec sheet than my PC. Like my PC, and I'm not in a big rush to upgrade my PC because first of all, like,
What games are you gonna be playing? Yeah.
well, I mean, I could like anything I want to play on PC. I'm better off playing on my Steam Deck, so it doesn't make a lot of sense investing. Like my PC does really well at podcasting, at streaming, at doing the
Right.
things I need my PC to do. It
Right.
still has a lot of headroom when it comes to things like that. So I'm not super concerned about throwing in like a 40 series graphics card into my computer and like
I get you. That makes sense.
so yeah, for me, like my PS5 does it. That's where I'm playing the majority of my games anyway. So,
How are the fans that you've seen so far reacting towards Elder Rings getting like ray tracing?
well, I haven't seen a lot of because as far as the people around me that play the game, most of us beat and platinumed and like finished with that game within a month of it being out. And like
Okay.
we dip back in for the Coliseum update and like we'll dip in here and there. Like I'm gonna definitely try it out before the next time we record if we even remember to talk about it. Or I might talk about it on Cheesy Controller.
Oh
That's
my
what I'll
dude,
do.
this is gonna be the name of the episode. We're gonna remember this for sure. Oh
Ray
yeah.
tracing,
Oh yeah.
you got to call it RTX on because
RTX
that,
on? Gotcha.
yeah. If you just type ray tracing into YouTube, you'll see a bunch of videos that have like RTX off and RTX on.
Okay.
RTX is like Nvidia's name for ray tracing.
There
And
you go.
while
Still learning.
the consoles are based on AMD, and so they have a different solution, but RTX on what is a title that'll it'll rustle some feathers. Probably good for SEO.
I'm watching some videos on Twitter as we speak. Bridget Bellwether is showing their Elden Rings ray tracing. It says the caption reads the game literally slows down instead of skipping frames. LMAO. and but it's gorgeous. Like you see like the foliage moving. You see like
Yeah, and I'm
the
sure
fabric.
like with the lighting and the different kinds of light sources and the different things
Mm-hmm.
that like in that game, like the Erd Tree when you're in the overworld is like ever present, and there are like
Yeah,
a lot of things with the moon, like
like it has a reflection on you now. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm seeing like a light spectrum of a save point, and like the light itself shows a reflection on the character. It's insane. It's nuts, man.
right.
Nuts.
And so that for me is there are rumors going around about a PS5 Pro. If that were to be a thing that would happen, what I would want is more being able to ray trace at higher frame rates.
That makes sense actually. Yeah. Considering what you just told me, that makes complete sense.
Right. So back to the triangle. Top is resolution. Let's say the
Gotcha.
left bottom is frame rate, and then the right bottom is ray tracing. And I mean, there are several of these like triangles as far as gaming goes, but these are the kind of the big ones in this generation. And so games like Fortnite, when I'm running it in performance mode, is prioritizing frame rate and it has ray tracing enabled, but my resolution isn't at a locked 4K. And I mean, for
Gotcha.
me, in pretty much every case, even though I'm playing on a 4K monitor, I will definitely like not notice if some of my frames are 1080p if I have at a consistent frame rate. Like for me, I will notice now a bad frame rate a lot faster than I'll notice a low resolution. And I used to be the opposite way. And so that's what I'm hoping with all these PS5 Pro rumors happening, and like supposedly we're going to be getting a PS5 Slim, which is smaller, which with a detachable disk drive, and then we'll probably get a PS5 Pro, probably late next year.
Gaming is changing big time.
And
A
I
lot
mean,
since like that last console.
as somebody who last generation got a PS4 Pro, and I mean, part of the I didn't get it day one. Like I wasn't standing in line. My base PS4 ended up dying due to just like such heavy use. So
Okay.
I was like, I'll upgrade to a PS4 Pro. But
Dude, nice.
yeah, so while we're on the topic of PlayStation and Spider Man, according to So I'll read the headline straight from IGN. Responding to a fan on Twitter, Venom voice actor Tony Todd revealed the release window looks like September. Massive publicity coming in August. Commercials start dropping in August. So I'm told.
Tony
So,
Todd dropping Candyman out there giving you the news.
and I mean,
Candyman tells you. You gotta listen.
that's kind of a thing with voice actors. They tend because Norman Reedus is like, yeah, we've been working on Death Stranding too,
You're
and it's
right.
like
Bro, shut the fuck
nobody
up.
like so voice actors do this all the time because they're more used to how Hollywood is, where like they've
Right.
announced years down the road of like, oh yeah, you can probably say you're working on Avengers Secret Wars, Secret
Mm-hmm.
Invasion, the Kang Dynasty. So let's say
Gotcha.
you can probably like if you're cast on that, you can probably say, yeah, I'm working on that in a Hollywood sense. But games are a lot more secretive because games are a lot more volatile. Games getting
Yeah.
canceled are like a lot bigger of a deal than a movie getting canceled.
So like you saying all that, do you think like that's the case when it comes to the Spider-Man game, or do you not think that's the case when it comes to the Spider-Man game?
I mean, it's hard to say because until Insomniac actually says something, until PlayStation officially says something, there are no guarantees.
And like
But I
being
mean,
like a gamer, you learned that the hard
September
way.
seems like a good time frame because they'll be competing head to head with Starfield, and like Starfield has to be that game for Xbox. Like it's a make or break moment for Xbox in September, and Spider Man's just going to come out. Everybody knows Spider Man's going to be good. Spider Man's going to have performance RT. It's going to have like all these things that, and it'll be exclusive to PlayStation. Meanwhile, Starfield, but the thing is, Spider Man's going to be base $70. Like the basic edition of Spider Man is Spider Man 2 is going to be $70. So it'll be interesting to see because with Game Pass, everybody with an Xbox will be able to play the big marquee title on that side with Starfield, but everybody on PlayStation. And I mean, PlayStation gamers are still willing to pay for games. So, and I mean, like, I'm not going to wait on Spider Man 2 to go on sale. I'm going to want to play it day one.
Get it right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to pre order it. So I'm sure that I just have it taken care of and I don't have to worry about it when it comes out.
I'm gonna go comic business on this for a little bit too. Like the Across the Spider Verse comes out in June.
Yes.
That's 3 months before this initial title is supposed to be coming out to to consoles.
Well,
and like
I think
that's honestly enough time for hype. Like for hype to to get out there. People like to get excited for this game to come out after a movie they just saw.
there are rumors that before June we're supposed to get a big PlayStation showcase. I could see PlayStation
Right.
revealing a Spider-Man 2 trailer at that showcase and having that play before Spider-Verse in theaters.
Motherfucker.
Because
That is that is wow. Yeah.
PlayStation can do things like that. PlayStation
They
is like,
can.
we have the heavy hitters. Like, PlayStation, like, I'm really scared about the next few years with PlayStation, but the two games that I know will be good are Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. So,
Yeah. And like, it I know like this may sound like a little obscure thing to say, but like it is still a Japanese company. Like and like Japanese companies do weird things like this sometimes. So, like,
well,
yeah.
so
I don't know, it's still in America.
Sony's still a Japanese company, but PlayStation as a brand has, you got to think about it like this. The PS4 and the PS5 came out in North America before they came out in Japan.
Interesting. All right.
So there was a paradigm shift late in the PS3 where kind of like all of the decisions started being made on this side.
Hmm.
Where like Nintendo in Japan is the head Nintendo and Nintendo of America is just an arm of it. PlayStation like North America is the head branch and PlayStation Japan is an arm of that at this point.
Interesting.
And
That's interesting.
that was something like early in the PS4. They're like, yeah, I know Japan has had this for years, and I'm like, no, actually, it came out in North America before it came out in Japan. So, and that should
All right.
tell you because like for years that wasn't the case. And I'm glad
No, it
JRP.
wasn't. It wasn't the case.
I'm really glad JRPGs have gotten on the bandwagon of simultaneous worldwide releases. So
That's like your main area is those JRPGs, yeah.
well, because for a long time, like I grew up playing Pokemon. I grew up playing like a lot of games that would come out in Japan, and I'd follow like on back in the Cerebi.net is still great. Shout out Joe Merrick, but being on Cerebi.net in middle school and seeing like, oh man, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are out in Japan. This is crazy. They have online play. I can't wait for this to come out. And spending probably close to a year of this game just been out and people are playing it before I'm able to buy it in North America with an English translation and localization. Now they're doing translation and localization earlier in the process so that they can put it out in multiple languages day one, easy peasy.
I'm actually looking at the list of 2023 JRPGs that came out this year from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Persona 4, the ones we talked about recently, Octopath Traveler,
Well,
like
Rebirth
the Unit Chronicle.
Rebirth is not confirmed for this year. Rebirth is. We have a date for Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 is my most anticipated upcoming game. Like, bar none. But once
Gotcha.
I play and beat Final Fantasy 16, my eyes are going to be laser focused on Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And they haven't confirmed that that's coming this year. They just said winter. So they
Yeah,
announced
that's what it
Crisis
says.
Core Reunion was winter 2022 into 2023, and we got it December. So there are absolutely no guarantees that Final Fantasy VII
Right.
Rebirth is coming out 2023.
So when it
I'd
comes
be
to
happy
Spider-Man,
if it did, but no guarantees.
Spider-Man could possibly come out in September, and then other Final Fantasy can come out in December or January. But this is
They could push it to April for all I
yeah.
care. Like, honestly, it's like my birthday's coming up 1 month from tomorrow as of recording. I will be turning 29, and I'm super excited for just the thing. Sunbreak comes out 3 days after my birthday on PlayStation, so I'll have a lot more Monster Hunter content to consume and keep me distracted for a little while. But lately, I've just kind of been dipping back into old favorites like Fortnite and Final Fantasy 14 to kind of like hold me over, and like trying out new things like Theater Rhythm. And because I'm about to bring it up, we gotta talk about it. I've played Diablo 4.
Ooh, how many hours you put in?
Probably like two. And I would have been playing earlier today, but they didn't want to let me in. Uh, because it's the open beta weekend. So the problem was last weekend was the closed beta. You had to either order a double down from KFC through delivery, or pre-order the game, or uh, ask for it on Twitter. Which I don't know if you saw that exchange, but
Mm-mm.
I tweeted what anybody know the best way to get a Diablo 4 beta code, and completely forgot about the tweet. Couple days later, Twitter Gaming replies, still need a Diablo beta code, eyes emoji, and I'm like, yes I do. And they DM'd me a code, and I preloaded it onto my PlayStation. It was ready to go. What was that, Saturday night? It might have been Friday night last week that uh, the early access beta went up, and I had like an hour queue, and I just played Vampire Survivors on my Steam Deck while I waited. And next thing I knew, I was in and I was playing and played a couple hours. I only got to level 5. I know the cap for the beta is 25, um, and level 20 is my goal by the end of this weekend, so that I can get. There's a wolf pup that you can have on your back as a cosmetic that you get for playing the beta
Okay.
and getting to level 20. So, like, all the other rewards are like titles and stuff, and those were unlocked just because I played. And I'm not getting Diablo 4 on day one. That is a for sure thing at this point. Um, I probably will wait at least until Activision is owned by Microsoft, but
Damn,
uh,
that
yeah,
could be a while.
yeah. But I am in no rush. Like, I've played the beta, I've experienced the game, I've seen what the game would look like running on my PlayStation, on my monitor, in my studio. Like, I have really, and while it was good, like, I enjoyed what I played, and I talked about it last week on Cheesy Controller, and people kind of like called me out on it on Discord. Was you can tell that people grinded away working on this game. You can tell that people were getting burnt out because just the level of fidelity, the level of craftsmanship, the
Right.
level of detail, and all of that that I'm seeing moment to moment in that game, you can tell
I remember
that it
hearing
wasn't
Jalen talk
easy.
about it on an episode. Like he kind of went on about how developers are getting overworked and burnt out with that game because
Yeah,
you can
and
sell the
we
lower
talked
detail.
about it on here, like the terrible conditions that like
Right.
some of the developers, especially female developers, had to deal with during the development of Diablo 4. So
Because the elephant in the room, like the misconduct they had going on
yeah,
there. Yeah.
misconduct, like just kind of like frat boy cultures at studios, and it's like
Hmm.
a story we're hearing over and over and over and over and over again. And Microsoft has a reputation to uphold.
Yeah.
We know that Bobby Kotick and a lot of these bad actors at Activision, if Microsoft buys them, they're getting golden parachutes, but at least they're out of the building. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. I mean,
they're
you
gonna.
hate for like them to get money after
Oh,
something like
they are
that, but like
going to get a payday that could be life changing for a town worth of people. Like the
but
amount
at
of
least
money that individuals are going to get out of that buyout. It's a $69 billion
yeah.
acquisition. Bobby Kodak's getting at least a cool bill. At least $1 billion. You know what that could do for a whole neighborhood? You know.
It's like you said, it's life changing. Yeah.
Right, and so he's gonna get like a lot of these bad actors at Activision Blizzard are going to get a ridiculously obtuse, like almost borderline disrespectful payday out of this, but Microsoft's not gonna let them stay there and not gonna let
Good.
and they're probably going to improve the working conditions of the developers at their studios because you see the other studios that Microsoft has acquired, and outside of Bethesda and the layoffs, which, oof, I mean
That's a
they
whole.
micro the layoffs kind of are unrelated to the quality of life of people who are fortunate enough to avoid the layoffs. If
Okay.
that makes any sense. Like I don't want to
A little bit.
downplay how bad of a situation it is for the people employed or who are no longer employed due to layoffs, but I think
It's probably
that
for the best.
well, no, that's the thing. And Jalen argues this all the time. Like these companies are showing year over year profits, year over year gains, but decreasing their workforce so they have to pay less people
At the
so that
same wage.
the people at the
Yeah.
top can just make more money than the already ridiculous money that they're making beforehand.
But also, like you guys noted on your episode, make sure you guys check that out. By the way, but like also like you guys know that it's uh it's happening across the board, like not just in gaming, but like all over everywhere, like in corporate America, like
Yeah.
people are getting
Well,
paid the same
especially
wage for
tech.
more work. Yeah.
Especially tech. And oh,
And
well,
like
if
you
we're
got
talking
numbers
about
in with
wage to
layoffs.
work and that kind of ratio, that that's a societal
Yeah.
systematic problem that this is a video game show. We're gonna
No, I
we'll
get you.
talk about
I
Diablo.
did people talk about Diablo before. Her one guy in particular, he said to me, he said on the show that if you're expecting like something new, something different from Diablo 4, like different than like 3 or 2, you won't get that.
Right.
But what you will have is like it's good multiplayer, like better crisp graphics, and
Oh
like
man, those
some
graphics.
is I'm looking at it right now on Twitter. It's crisp, like it's stunning,
Right.
like how
You
good
can
this looks.
see the like detail and the
Yeah,
handwork that went into that. Like, sure,
yeah,
an AI probably made some rocks or something, but like they walk, you walk past a lamppost, and this lamppost is so detailed. You can see like the grain of the wood and like
yeah.
the glisten of the puddles in the snow where like a cart or like a monster or something has left a footprint or a tire mark. Like it's
It's insane. Like I'm watching a battle right now, like with a dragon, and it's nuts. Like the way this graphic looks, like it's absolutely insane how detailed this is. Like you can see the characters, like their magic and abilities are very detailed also. And like in most times in most Diablo games, like it's nowhere near that quality of like craftsmanship inside like inside the games of previous Diablo games. This here now, this new stuff is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Like so, yeah, I
And
get why you're playing.
to add to that, they've confirmed that ray tracing is coming to Diablo 4 post launch. So
It makes a return in the same episode. Definitely talk. That's definitely the episode title for sure. RTX on. It's definitely the name of this episode. It's gonna be
RTX
awesome.
Engage.
I like it. I like it. Man, yeah, I'm learning a lot today about these games. I'm with you about Diablo 4. I may have to. God,
Yeah,
by the end of
I
the
want
year.
to play it, but I don't want to support like the current. Like I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm not getting the super duper
Gotcha.
deluxe crazy slap you in the face edition. I'll get it when it's on sale after Activision is owned by Microsoft. Because we're at the point that Microsoft's willing to make any concessions to make this deal go through. So
And that
like
that honestly that means something. Like to the fans, like for me as a fan, that means something. Like they're going through all this like just to give like the fans a game that they know they want to get like like the toxicity inside like the gaming culture that all of us trying to push out. Like that means something to me. To me anyway, that means something. So
well,
like I'm here
it's
for it.
consolidation, and Microsoft is seems incapable of making a good game, so they just buy studios that have good games almost done, so that they can
Yeah,
put them out under their banner. That's why I said Starfield's like a make or break moment for
has to
Xbox,
happen. Yeah,
because they paid billions of dollars to acquire all of ZeniMax to get one Bethesda Game Studios game, and if it comes out and is a buggy shit show like all their other games have been, and it's gonna run at 30 frames per second, which is like frankly unacceptable. We talked
yeah,
about it with Gotham Knights.
yeah.
We talked about it, and it. I know Starfield's going to run at 30 frames per second. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, Microsoft promised Starfield would be out within a year of last June. It's coming out in September. They've already broken that promise. And if by June we don't have Hollow Knight Silksong, that's two games out of their showcase that were not within the next 12 months that they showed. So, and I mean, I want Xbox to like do better. I would like for Game Pass to like have some of those killer apps. I'd gladly subscribe to Game Pass or buy the games on Steam. Like one of the games I use my Steam Deck for is Halo Infinite, which is a Xbox first party game. Like I want them to have quality games the same way. I wish the Switch were more powerful, but I want
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom to be good when it comes out. Like I want good games for more people.
And I respect that too. Also, like I'm looking on game ranks, and they're talking about how Cyberpunk 2077 is also on a path to
Yeah.
getting,
Yep.
yeah,
Ray tracing is
like,
coming soon to that
mm-hmm,
but only
yeah,
on PC, because that game's a lot more demanding, and
yeah, as we all know, yeah,
I'm sure at some point after a lot of refinement they might be able to get it to function on the consoles, but yeah, the more complex the game, the harder the ray
yeah,
tracing implementation is going to be.
makes sense.
So,
There's a couple of stories out there. I was surprised like you didn't put on the docket to talk about. Like one being the Ash Ketchum in
oh
Pikachu.
man,
Like
yeah,
I'm
we
surprised
could.
you didn't bring that up.
Cause I was there. Just some of these stories are crazy this
All
week.
right.
Like we had the one that got you hype. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
Ash Ketchum and Pikachu after 26 years, their journey's finally over. They're definitely going to come back at some point. The
have to.
episode's only out in Japanese, no subs yet. So I'll probably wait for the like arc, because it's
To
been like
binge. Yeah,
12 episodes of after Ash 1, like kind of tying up all the loose ends over the course of the entire series. So, because we're getting two new protagonists in the next
yeah.
season, and it's really interesting to see how they're going to
You gonna
handle
get
it.
emotional? Think you get emotional when you watch it?
Oh well, I mean, I've already that last episode. The emotional moment for me so far really was Ash becoming the best trainer alive, like
Yeah.
beating Leon, like that final battle, and becoming the champion, like winning it all, becoming the very best, like no one ever was. Like
I had to say it.
that was it for me. Like he did it.
Yeah.
Ash and Pikachu, they did it.
They they did it exactly. They together, teamwork together.
Friendship.
Since we're
It's
the
really,
friendship, since we're talking about Pokemon, quick question: do you think Detective Pikachu, the sequel, is gonna actually? Like I heard it's gonna happen, but do you think it actually is gonna happen? You think like they're
I
actually
hope
gonna make like a
so.
sequel?
I'm not really the one to ask about like if like the viability of movies for the most part because I
Okay,
don't follow the movie industry like that. I don't really know, and I mean it'd be
the
coming out of
universe.
Japan most likely because the Pokemon company is headquartered in Japan, and so
Okay, I'll say this: that universe was freaking amazing, man.
yes,
Like that universe. Oh my god! It's like the story was a little weak,
right,
but that universe itself, good gods, man. Like mine, they blended that universe so well with humans and Pokemon, and like everything just flowed together so well. Like
yeah.
they did a good job of that
I
universe,
saw Detective Pikachu in theaters, and then
dude.
yeah, I got a pack of Pokemon cards. Is like that's probably deep in the backlog of Instagram, but yeah. So I Detective Pikachu in theaters opening weekend. And
Nice. All right, you're full of surprises, Anton. And last thing I'm surprised you didn't put on the docket was Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm surprised you didn't talk about that.
well, so right now where I'm at with Resident Evil is
Oh,
I need to play 2 remake because like my history with Resident Evil is like terrible. Like I'm going to say this out loud and I understand that I am wrong. I understand like you don't have to attack me on Twitter. But the only Resident Evil game I've played all the way through, and I've actually played all the way through it multiple times, solo and co-op, is Resident Evil 5.
the fuck? Sorry. What did you just say?
so
Not even two? Seriously?
two, so I got 2 and 3 remake, and I have 2 remake installed on my PS5, ready to go, like the current gen, like upgraded version of Resident Evil 2. I got 2 and 3 as a bundle on like super sale a while back, and I've had 7. So I have 2 remake, 3 remake, 7 and 8 just at my disposal. But I think I want to play through 2 remake, and then I want to play through 4 remake because I've heard people say 4 is one of the greatest games ever made
Yeah.
so many times over the course of my life, and once they put out RE2 remake, I mean even before that there were rumors of Capcom remaking Resident Evil 4. And I was like, I'll probably just wait for that. And now it's here and it's getting tens across the board and it seems like it's really good like by all accounts. So I want to play through 2 remake first because I feel like playing through 2 remake will give me a deeper appreciation for 4 remake when I play it. Plus, I already own 2 remake, and I wouldn't have to pay extra. You know, like I'd have to buy 4 remake, and I can wait for that to go on sale in the meantime. So
Never. Only finished five. And five is like, the weird
5,
one out of all
well,
of them.
uh, the redheaded stepchild, for lack of a
Yeah,
better term,
that's
is
what it is,
six.
man.
Is
Okay,
six.
okay, yeah, that's like the most like like don't talk to me about that one. That's that one.
Right.
Five was like the like let's switch it up game style, but some people like it, some people didn't. The mechanics were a little weird for me. The camera sucked in five for me, but yeah, I hear you. Whew, wow, only five. Five was so easy too, man. It was like a cakewalk most times.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just enjoyed 5. Like, I'm hoping, and I've been hearing people talk about it on podcasts, and everybody's like, "Don't remake 5. Don't like 5
Not
doesn't be
necessary.
like."
Not
But I'm
necessary.
like, "Yeah, remake 5,
Do
please."
it. Get on it. Give it to me.
That'll be one I pre-order. That'll be a day one Resident Evil 5 remake. That'll be I will be.
I got it on PlayStation Plus, RS5, and when I did play, it was a blast, like just to hop on and then have someone go co-op with you and just like have a good time playing with somebody like you never met before, and just like going at it,
Well,
just
I
having
would
fun. Like,
play with people I knew
okay,
because on PS3 games didn't have cross-game voice chat.
right,
So like,
right,
and Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition would be at Walmart for $20 consistently. So
okay,
it'd be easy to convince people like, hey, let's co-op play through. This is like Xbox had cross-game voice chat, but this is before cross-game voice chat was a thing
right.
in my gaming repertoire. Like now, earlier
It's
I
everywhere.
was on
Yeah.
a Discord call on my PlayStation with someone playing Fortnite with me on Xbox while people were playing Final Fantasy 14 on PS5 and PC all in the same call at the same time. So like, and fun thing, probably everybody with a PS5 has noticed they ask you to update your privacy settings
I've heard about
uh,
this. Yeah.
when you booted up your PlayStation the most recent time is
Mm-hmm.
because they're allowing cross game or cross
Voice chat.
platform game notifications. So if you
I've
invite me to a Call of Duty match from PC, it'll show up just like somebody invited me from PlayStation on my PlayStation.
gaming is changing so much, man. Like,
Right.
man.
I was talking to Angelina about that earlier. I was like, if you told me 10 years ago that I'd be playing a game with someone on Xbox while people in the same party as me are playing different, like a completely different game across two different platforms as well, like I wouldn't have believed you.
I would have laughed in your face. I'm not, no joke. I would have laughed. Please get the fuck out of here, dude. That's never gonna happen. And here it is.
Right.
We're in it. We're in it. Fuck, man. A lot of swears this episode. Like, it's just like, first off, I'm feeling myself. Second, like gaming, man. This is like, it's always been movies for me. First and foremost, because I like the passions. Movies before anything else. And that's probably like a surprise for you and many others out there. But like movies were first and foremost. Then comics. Then like animated TV shows. Then like manga and anime. And then like the sleeper underdog was always games. Like games like with a little bow that brought everything together. And hearing all this stuff about games, because microtransaction took me out. When the microtransaction started, like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. This is too much. Like,
Hey
oh, y'all
man,
trying to sucker me?
I'm
I'm
macro
done.
transactions sometimes. So like it came out and I could see how it pushed a lot of people away,
Yeah.
but and we talked about this with Marvel Snap where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if a game's free to play, if I the kind of fun and entertainment value that I get out of it is worth like paying it back to, like they're going to be the
Yeah.
whales, like, and in certain games I can tend to be the whale, but
Yeah.
I know that me whaling is giving somebody like you or like some more casual players more content and more support, and like all of these things that really
Yeah.
matter are just free for everybody across the board, while I get to run around as Darth Vader, you know?
Looking at you, Fortnite.
Definitely.
Oh man, this is why I love this podcast. I love like doing all the podcasts. But this one here, this is fun because it takes me back to that time where gaming was just like a whole simple thing, and it feels like it's coming back to that point of being like a simple thing, but like
It's
more
never going to
interactive.
be, yeah, it's never going to be the small, quaint thing gaming
Right.
used to be.
Right.
Gaming, there's a reason that the most successful entertainment property, period, bigger than movie, bigger than TV, is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Because Grand Theft Auto is the biggest entertainment property, period.
Yeah.
And
We got
so,
When that game comes out, we gotta do a full episode just about that.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't wait for
GTA
that.
6.
God.
Like I'll pre-order it. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Rockstar games,
Neither am
and
I. That's the kick to it. Neither am I.
so
But those
I
GTA games, man, they are something else.
well GTA 5. I have like 3 different versions of that game. It still hasn't hooked me to complete the campaign or even
Okay,
like really spend any significant
bet
time with multiplayer. Red Dead,
that's fair.
same deal. Like I've given the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 5 so many tries over so many platforms over so many years.
Don't get me started on Red Dead, dude. Like when I first started Red Dead, when I first turned it on, hopped on because I wanted to go online. I said, "Screw the campaign. I'm not doing a campaign because the story is probably a little bit racist, and I'm good." So I hopped online. First thing I did was get sniped in the head. Like, well, that's uncomfortable. Like that could just be a glitch. Something just bad happened. Hop back on. Second time around, sniped in the head. Like, well, this is done. I'm deleting this game right now. So yeah, I was done with Red Dead after that.
Well, like I can recognize kind of like the cinematic qualities of Red Dead
Yeah,
2
yeah.
and especially but like I got Red Dead Redemption 2 like the deluxe edition, had it pre-ordered
Wow.
digitally, preloaded to my system, was ready to go and played a good chunk. Like I played past the point that most people were like, yeah, you got to get past like the opening and really like get this far to get into the game itself. And I
Okay.
got past that point and was just like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah. I feel that.
Like,
it's no shade to the voice acting or like the
well, the
cinematography or like and
quality,
that stuff.
like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's a high. I can like if somebody asked me to name some high quality video games, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming up in that
On that
conversation.
list, yeah, agreed.
But I just it's it wasn't
Wasn't feeling it.
right. Like there are people like for me, game of the generation, Monster Hunter World. It's not for everybody.
Right.
Game of the generation, Final Fantasy 14. Not for everybody. Game of the generation, Elden Ring. Not for everybody. Game of
My
the
dude,
generation,
you
Tetris
gotta get a
Effect.
shirt. You gotta get a shirt that says Game Generation. Put that whole list on the back of it. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. That's awesome.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Game of the generation.
The Game Generation. There you go. There you go. That's that's all I got for this show though, man. This is oh god. It's always fun talking games.
Because we see, this is why I'll try and just have as little
Please.
communication between episodes. You forgot to mention that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Mother
the last Ronin, is getting a third-person action RPG AAA video game by an unnamed studio, likely a few years off from release. The title is inspired by recent God of War titles.
Anton, you did it on purpose. You wanted to catch me slipping and you did. You did it.
I just couldn't let us get out an episode of Table Cheese where we have this information in our like realm and not let you nerd out about it. This is SEO
Dude,
nerd talk, and
when you sent me that text message, because I had no idea about this. I listened to Kind of Funny just like you do, and like they talked about it the very same day you sent me that, but I didn't listen to the podcast until hours after you sent me that damn message. So I saw this. I sent you a very explicit voice message after I saw that, dude. Whoo! Ronin, my goodness. TMT Ronin. My set the story up for you guys. This is not a spoiler. This is like the actual story.
yeah, I don't
All
want
the
any spoilers because like I very rarely read comics. Like I read manga all the time, but I very rarely read comics. I want to read this.
all the turtles are dead except for one. I'm not gonna tell you who that one is. Master Splinter's also dead, and like the one turtle is trying to get revenge because like his brothers are dead, and like this is a story about how he has like to overcome crap with himself to take down a person like who did this to his brothers. And the story itself, oh my gosh, man! Like if you are a TMNT fan, you will go absolutely ape for this. And the fact they're making a game, God of War style, oh,
Right, third person action RPG, triple A.
and this one turtle is not just good with their weapons; they're good with all of their weapons. So keep that in mind too. So, dude, huh,
That's why it's
huh.
ambiguous, like which turtle Ronin is because he's equipped with all four signature weapons of all four turtles.
And the hardcore TMNT fans, like, you know who this character is. The hardcore TMNT, like, even if you haven't read this comic book, me saying all this, you know exactly who the hell I'm talking about. It's this one turtle. You know who it is. Period. And bro, like, growing up with this story, this is gonna hit you. Like, story wise, like, I'm getting chills just talking about this. Like, no joke. Getting, like, you see me, and I'm losing it, dude. Ronin, fuck, Ronin, God. There's been so many stories that are similar to this. Like, Old Man Logan comes to mind with this. Like some of the Daredevil stories out there, like Shadowland when he goes like rogue, stuff like that. Batman, No Man's Land, something that comes to mind also. But this is a whole different bag of worms, man, because it has like the nostalgia attached to it. It has like, you know, like a lot of depth inside of it. Also, it has like a lot of personal growth with one main character. And dude, you're gonna get shocked, like full on. This is gonna mess up a lot of fans out there. Like the way we kept talking about The Last of Us on the podcast. Check out that episode, by the way. But like this here, this is gonna mess up a lot of people. Period. TMNT fans are gonna get messed up with this.
And I mean, for TMNT, kind of had a resurgence as far as video games goes last year with Shredder's Revenge and the Cowabunga collection. And Shredder's Revenge was a really good game. I don't know if we were doing Table Cheese by the time that game was out last year, but I re-downloaded it off of this news, and I remembered Netflix brought it to mobile. So if you have a Netflix subscription, you can play it, and it has online co-op, drop in, drop out. I think up to 6 players. So
yeah, good jug.
Yeah,
get one of these. There you go.
My backbone's in the bedroom because I've made. Look here. Here goes a controller with a phone clip on it. It's not
nice.
My backbone, but this was the solution pre-backbone.
I remember those. Man, you got me. You got me good. I appreciate it. You keep me on my toes, Anton. I like it. Usually I got a list in front of me.
Well, yeah, I sent over the stories. We talked about Spider-Man. We talked about Elden Ring, but we talked about ray tracing. The elephant in the room is the last Ronin.
My goodness, I'm looking at the clip right now, and the art is incredible, absolutely incredible. And Anton, like, we gotta when you play this game, dude, and when you get into it, I wanna be texting you like crazy about this because I want to know what you think. Because you watched the cartoon as a kid, I know you did.
Yeah, I watched
better.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I'll stream it. It won't be MK Ice and Fire. It won't be commentary free. You'll probably get my reaction along with what's going on. But some like raw gameplay with real-time reactions, authentic reactions. I won't do the whole streamer. The like YouTube thumbnail like. But if something's cool, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, this is really cool."
I hope you don't do that. I'll make fun of you. I'll have to do
it. I can't believe that.
If you guys see my last episode, you saw the thumbnail, you know, like, it's gonna be a wild one. Oh my god, that's so painful sometimes. Jeez.
Alana has to, like, when she edits Cheesy Controller, she has to, like, sneak in, like, see, like, me, like, mid-word on something, like, kind of just, because I talk with my hands. So,
yeah.
For, like, the thumbnails on that, she'll get, like, me holding my head or something like that, of just, like, something I'm naturally emoting, but, like, isolating it out makes it look, like, way more dramatic.
Yeah. Especially if you listen to the podcast. Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, he didn't match that inside the episode. But you guys get pretty jazzed on certain episodes. If you guys aren't watching listening to the Cheesy Controller or watching the episodes, you're missing out. Because like you guys tackle some like tough issues and you really know your stuff. Like especially like the Madrid, Jalen, and Chris. Like They play. You guys play tons of games. You sneak in some anime from time to time too. It's fun. It's a fun time.
Well, I mean, those are you talked about like your hierarchy. For me, games is all the way at the top. Then it's followed by like manga, then anime,
Mm-hmm.
then we're getting down into like uh, other animated shows, like not necessarily like strict like Japanese made anime.
Like Rick
And
and Morty type stuff, or
well, I mean, adult animation. Yeah, I guess we could count adult animation because for me, adult animation is that like good shit. Like if I
yeah.
see a like adult oriented tackling like mature themed show in kind of my orbit, like Futurama is one of my favorite shows. That's something we've talked about. Like,
I'm ready for the new season. I'm ready for it
yep.
to come back.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm mad. HBO Max was supposed to bring back Futurama and the Boondocks, and the Boondocks
It's
revival.
never.
Well, right, it got can't. It died in the pipeline. So
Mm, that was a hard one to swallow, especially considering that last season was abysmal.
right, yeah. Oof.
Guys, it's like they completely forgot every lesson they had in the first couple of seasons. Like you just
Well,
saw all
Aaron
that.
McGruder wasn't on it. Like the
Wasn't part of
original
it. Yeah.
creator wasn't on that final season that we got, and they were going to bring him back to do 2 more seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I talk
Really
about this
spoon
all the
died, yeah.
time. That like amount of the last big thing that he tackled in the show was Obama. Think about the amount of material that has happened since the Obama era that can be satirized by the Boondocks.
Dude, like I want to say this out loud, and I get how it's gonna sound. Just bear with me. To see how Uncle Ruckus would react
There
to
would
the
be an
win,
episode about canceling Uncle Ruckus. And like
bro.
Uncle Ruckus going on Fox News and being like, I can't believe this cancel culture bullshit.
And like what DeSantis doing he's in right now too. Oh my goodness, that'd be something to fucking see, man. My goodness. And he had to do like a Stacey Abrams episode as well, dude. Whew. See, yeah,
Right,
look at you
the
getting
amount
it.
of fucking
My God, man.
material, the tomes of just jokes that could like I could see the Boondocks making about
Dude,
black cultures
Mm-hmm.
in the post-Obama years.
Like
We had a
political,
whole Trump presidency that could be satirized.
political nerds like definitely
Uncle
missed
Ruckus
out.
and a "Make America Great Again" hat.
We could have had it. It could have been. We could have so many memes right now with that, dude.
Oh man,
So many memes. I figure it. I hear you completely. The political nerds. I'm sorry, guys. We got shortchanged on this one, big time.
And I mean, even if you're not political, like the Boondocks, the Boondocks was just a great show.
Yeah, it did kind of transcend. I hear you. It did. It definitely did. Like it touched on a lot, especially the music world with black culture. My God, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's Adult Swim. Like it was part of the culture shift that came along with Adult Swim, like
Yeah.
exposing a lot of people to a lot of different genres and a lot of different newer like things that they just weren't exposed to.
We wouldn't have had to show Black Jesus on Adult Swim. We wouldn't have had Black Dynamite if it wasn't for the Boondocks. So no, I hear you.
Dynamite!
We gotta just like hang out, just watch like some Adult Swim someday.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Black Dynamite's on Hulu.
yeah. Oh, I've been rewatching it. Oh, most definitely. It's on that, and I think it's also on HBO Max. Oh yeah.
Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
I want to make the joke about Michael Jackson, but
Really different episode.
all right, we'll wrap right after this. This will be in the outro. This will be a special treat for the people who stuck around this long with us. The Orphanage is a place for whores and orphans, not you, Michael Jackson.
God, I remember that fucking joke. That was the beauty of that show. They always have subtle jokes like that, man. Little sneaks inside of it. Oh my God. Remember, like when white people became like the minority inside that show, and they became oppressed. That show was absolutely hilarious, dude. Oh God, I love that show. Don't watch it. Watch it high. Yeah, watch it high. It's better high. So good, but better high.
All right. Well, I said we'd wrap after that. You can find me around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. Follow me on Twitter at Anton Sixxx 3X's. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Trying to be better about tweeting more consistently. Dee's giving me some pointers. Let's get these numbers up. Dee, where can people find you?
You can find me wherever you find FTO Nerd Talk. No FTO page is the same. I'd say that legitimately. So make sure you follow every last one of them because my brain is always working and things are always happening. Guys, I'm such a nerd. Yeah, but make sure you follow my pages and have fun with it.
All right. Until next time, keep it cheesy.
And take it easy. Hey guys, D here of FTO Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTO Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.